Good evening. Here is the world news from our studio BGI TV, Baba Bakere Imo TV. First are the major headlines for the world news this hour. Do not forget, it's always a place to have the latest information. I am yours faithfully, Morire Rebilalawal. FG monitoring new COVID-19 variant, Omicron, advises Nigerians to get vaccinated. Gunmen kidnap DPO Ishak, demand 50 million naira ransom. 7 escapees rearrested after attempted Jos custodial jailbreak. 10 abducted Kaduna LG staff freed. Bandits collect 40 million naira. Demand motorbikes for victims. Nigeria's exchange rate strategy discourages investors, increases inflation, World Bank. We do not force confessions out of suspect, DSS. African leaders claim continent being penalized over Omicron. 2 persons returning from Nigeria have Omicron variant of COVID-19, Canadian government are speaking. Also, sports, Man United appoints Ralph Ragnick interim. Aribo explained why he is enjoying life under new Rangers boss. Now the news and details. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control on Sunday said it was monitoring emergence evidence on the new COVID-19 variant Omicron, which was first recently identified in Southern Africa. The new variant is considered highly transmissible and has already triggered a new wave of travel restrictions targeted at countries in Southern Africa. However, the NCDC, in a statement signed by its Director General, Dr. Ifedayo Adetifa, said the fears about its ability to evade protective immune responses and or its being vaccine resistance are only theoretical so far. While noting that the WHO and researchers across the world are working at speed to gain understanding of the likely impact of this variant on the severity of COVID-19 and on the potency of existing vaccines and therapeutics, the NCDC urges Nigerians to take necessary precautions. Gunmen suspected to be kidnappers have purportedly abducted the Divisional Police Officer, DPO, responsible for Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State, Ibrahim Aliu Ishak. The incident is said to have uplifted apprehension among people of Fuga, the administrative headquarters of the LGA. The victim was supposed to be driving his private car on Friday evening when he was confronted around Ise Waterway along the old Auchi Ekperi Agenebode streets. The gun-wielding hooligans were said to have shot inconsistently, forcing his vehicle to a stop before he was seized and taken into the bush. At the hour of the report, his abductors are said to have requested the amount of 50 million naira as ransom. Meanwhile, the State Commissioner of Police, Philip Ogbadu, has ordered operatives of the anti-kidnapping and cybercrime units, the tactical and strike teams of the command to move to the area to safeguard the DPO safely. Mr. Ishak is from Ilorin, Kwara State. The police authorities in Plateau State says they have rearrested 7 inmates that escaped the medium security custodial center in Jos when the facility came under by yet to be identified gunmen Sunday evening. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Bartolomeo Onyeka, led the reinforcement to the scene upon receiving the report and directed that the entire center be condoned. A stop and search order was immediately enforced, and in the process, 7 escapees were rearrested by the police and are in custody. One of the escapees has voluntarily surrendered himself to the authority. The CP reaffirmed that the police and other security agencies are currently on the ground to effectively deprive the attackers from any chance of achieving their intention. This situation has been brought under control by the swift response of the security operatives to the scene. Abductors have released 10 of the 13 abducted workers of Zaria local governments of the Kaduna state after payment of 40 million naira as ransom. A relation of one of the victims released on Saturday disclosed this, just as the Kaduna State Police Command confirmed the release of 10 of the 13 abducted workers on Sunday. The command spokesman, Mohammed Jalige, said the abducted local government workers were released on Saturday. According to him, operatives of the command had intensified efforts to enhance the release of the remaining workers unhurt. The relation of one of the victims released also disclosed that the kidnappers promised to release the remaining 3 abductees if 3 motorcycles were made available to them. The World Bank says the Nigerian government's exchange rate management policies are discouraging investment and fueling inflation in the country. The bank disclosed these in the November edition of its Nigeria Development Updates. While highlighting the role of the Central Bank of Nigeria in exchange rate stability, the World Bank said there had been intense pressure on the Naira, with the CBN constantly raising the nominal official exchange rate. The report read in part, the government exchange rate management policies continue to discourage investment and fuel inflation.
Now, the World Bank says the Nigerian government's exchange rate management policies are discouraging investment and fueling inflation in the country. The bank disclosed this in the November edition of its Nigerian Development Update. While highlighting the role of the Central Bank of Nigeria in exchange rate stability, the World Bank said there has been intense pressure on the Naira, with the CBN constantly raising the nominal official exchange rate. It added that the CBN foreign exchange management system was too rigid, with the system driving inflation in the country. The report also said that CBN was yet to introduce enough flexibility into FX management to sustainably respond to external shocks, adding that the NAFTEC rate was not a true reflection of the market rate. The World Bank advised that a more predictable, transparent, and flexible foreign exchange management system was crucial to attract and sustain private investment flows.
The Department of State Security Services, DSS, has responded to a report that confessions are being forced out of suspects in its custody. The security agency, in a statement on Sunday, signed by the PRO, Dr. Peter Afunaya, PhD, disclosed that the report was false, adding that the agency is professional and does not take laws into its hands. The statement read, "There is no altar of truth in the so-called exclusive. The DSS does not force out confessions from suspects and has not done so in the matter of IPOB and ESN. The service is a professional agency that follows the rules of engagement and standards operating procedures in all of its activities. It does not take laws into its hand. It is a public knowledge that it has by today charged many suspects to court in line with democratic norms." To foreign travel restriction imposed on South African countries and the African continent by world leaders in a bid to curb the spread of the new COVID-19 variant Omicron, which has been designated by the World Health Organization as number of concern because of its concerning number of mutations, has garnered mixed reactions. Over the weekend, Akinwumi Adesina, president of the African Development Bank, in a series of tweets, advised world leaders not to label or penalize African nations because of the new variants.
COVID-19 variant Omicron, which has been designated by the World Health Organization as a variant of concern because of its concerning number of mutations, has garnered mixed reactions. Well, over the weekend, Akinwumi Adesina, president of the African Development Bank, in a series of tweets, advised world leaders not to label or penalize African nations because of the new variant. Adesina, who is one of the strong advocates of equity in vaccine distribution, said that Africa is not the source of the COVID-19 pandemic and appealed for global justice, equity, and fairness in vaccine distribution. Well, in the meantime, a video of Dr. Ayode Alakija, the co-chair of the African Union's COVID-19 Africa Vaccine Delivery Alliance, discrediting the travel ban, has gone viral. In the video clip, courtesy the BBC, the doctor said that the Omicron variant was inevitable because the world has failed to vaccinate countries equitably. Well, let's take a look.
And may I say firstly that had the first SARS-CoV virus, the one that was first identified in China last year, originated in Africa, it is now clear that the world would have locked us away and thrown away the key. There would have been no urgency to develop vaccines because it would have been expendable. Africa would have become known as the continent of COVID. What is going on right now is inevitable. It's as a result of the world's failure to vaccinate in an equitable, urgent, and speedy manner. It is as a result of hoarding by high-income countries of the world. And quite frankly, it is unacceptable. These travel bans are based in politics and not in science. It is wrong. Why are we locking away Africa when this virus is already on 3 continents? Nobody's locking away Belgium. Nobody's locking away Israel. Why are we locking away Africa? It is wrong. And it is also time that our African leaders stand up and they find their voice. African leadership need to sit up in this moment. Our presidents need to wake up in this moment and realize that this is not business as usual. Their continent is at stake. Our lives are at stake. And we cannot allow the world to do this to us.
Now, this video has gone.
You're still watching the world news from BGI TV by Bagbagide Imo TV, still on Foreign Story. 2 people returning from Nigeria have contacted the Omicron variant of the COVID-19 virus, according to the Canadian government. This was disclosed by the province of Ontario as Canada begins closing its borders to 7 African nations, according to Reuters. The variant, which was first detected in Southern Africa last week, has become a major concern to governments around the world as they rush to contain the spread. What the Canadian government is saying today, the province of Ontario has confirmed 2 cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 in Ottawa, both of which were reported in individuals with recent travel from Nigeria. Ottawa Public Health is conducting cases and contacts management, and the patients are in isolation, the statement said. The WHO has stated that it is still not clear if the Omicron is more transmissible than the other variant. Meanwhile, one of the 4 South African doctors to detect the strain, Dr. Angelique Kotze, said she noticed 7 patients at her clinic who had symptoms different from the dominant Delta variant, albeit very mild. The most predominant clinical complaint is severe fatigue for 1 or 2 days, along with headaches, body aches, and pain, she added. Now to sports. Manchester United have appointed Ralph Rangnick as interim manager, a statement on the club's official website said on Monday. Rangnick will hold the position until the end of the season. Rangnick said he will help Manchester United players fulfill their potentials. Says Rangnick, he described the squad as full of talents with a great balance of youth and experiences. And to the second sport before we call it a wrap on the world news from BGI TV, Joe Aribo claims the entire Rangers squad are enjoying life under new Rangers manager Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. The Jazz recorded a 3-1 win against Levantine at the Tony Macaroni Stadium on Sunday. The Nigerian international scored Rangers' second goal, his 4th in 14 league outings this season. The player seems to have dated well to the new manager and played with more attacking verve, rarely seen under former manager Steven Gerrard. It's all learning. Rome was not built in a day. It will take time to get there, but we have to keep improving, learning, and keep getting better, Aribo said after the game against Livingston. Before we call it a wrap on the world news from our studio, let's quickly have a take of the headlines once again. We brought to you, FG monitoring new COVID-19 variant Omicron, advises Nigerians to get vaccinated. Gunmen kidnap DPO Ishaq, demand 50 million naira ransom. 7 escapees were arrested after attempted Jaws custodial jailbreak. 10 abducted Kaduna LG staff freed. Bandits collect 40 million naira, demand motorbikes for victims. We also had it concerning the exchange rate of naira. Nigeria's exchange rate strategy discourages investors, increases inflation, World Bank. We do not force confession out of suspects, DSS. Also, from the African leaders and world at large, African leaders claim continent being penalized over Omicron. And to the second of the foreign story, 2 persons returning from Nigeria have Omicron variant of COVID-19, Canadian governments. And to sports, Manchester United appoints said Ralph Rangnick interim manager. Aribo explained why he is enjoying life under new Rangers boss. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you for always being there. For more of our updates on YouTube, Baba Bagede Imo TV, kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell for updates of our broadcast. And on Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page for you to get more of our updates. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services and products, coverage of events and functions as well. 070-3822-6160. Thank you for watching. I am yours faithfully, Morire Rebila Lawal. Good evening.